In this video, let's cover how I was able to use OBS Studio and Cartoon Animator to record my face and my talking and have it display through this image. Now, this image is generated via AI. I think I used DALL-E 3 at the time. It doesn't matter. There's a host of tools out there that you can do this with. I have another video which has the Dalmatian, a cartoonish Dalmatian dog in it, that will show you how to draw the different things that you need within Cartoon Animator to animate the face. But in this project here already, I have the animation already laid out. So now, or I shouldn't say the animation, but the facial values laid out. So now what I want to do is I want to start the motion capture here, and it's also available under plugins, Motion Live 2D. Now what I've purchased is the iPhone app. I found that the iPhone app did a lot better work for me in tracking my facial movements. And it just, it happens to be an iPhone app. Live Face is what it's called on the iPhone. So I fired that up on my iPhone, which you cannot see here, which is fine. You don't need to. But you also can use software on the computer, which would be the Face 3D. And I have that as well. And that would use your webcam. But I found the iPhone has a better tracking for me. So I need to enter the IP address that is provided in the Live Face ID. So let's do that. And that is going to connect the iPhone. And this is all via your Wi-Fi now. You got to be on the same Wi-Fi. So the computer that's running Cartoon Animator has to be on the same Wi-Fi as the phone. So right now I've got the connection to this IP address. What's an IP address? It's a network address. Your router gives them out and it allows your devices to connect. Is it something you really need to know about? Well, if you're interested in how your home network runs, yeah, it'd be a good thing to learn. But at the end of the day, it's an address, it's a location. Think of it like almost like a mailbox. So the post office knows where to deliver the mail. This unique ID allows you to communicate through this software to the phone. And the phone in particular, not just all of the phone. It's not like I can look at my contacts. It's the application that is running on the phone. Okay, so now that's actually on. And I have my wireframe up so I can see my face there. And now what we're going to need to do is it says, hey, no character has been selected yet. Okay, well, we're going to click on this guy. And what you see now is, okay, you're connected and you've got a character and we're using a microphone here, a Samson Meteor microphone, which works pretty well. Very sensitive though, very sensitive, but it's a good, entry-level microphone. And here's my character, and I can preview this. Before I preview it though, I'm going to set the 0 pose, which is what they say to do. So I'm looking straight ahead like I would be looking, and I set my 0 pose, and then I hit my preview and I press my space bar, and now you can see I'm talking. And whether or not I shake my head or do these things, this is how the software works. I found going slower is probably good because my computer, my laptop, which is a i7 with 16 gig of RAM, it's just not that powerful. But the iPhone does a really nice job of picking it up. I think the camera on the iPhone is better than my cameras that I have for my webcams. So your mileage will vary. Give it a try. But this is sum and substance, me now talking through the image, and now I want to show that on the video that I'm going to record. So I want to put that in a corner. Now, how do you do that? Well, as I learned through other folks that have come before me and stand on the shoulders of giants, I have a way to do that in OBS. So what do I do here? How do I get this to be basically like in a corner or wherever I want on the screen? Doesn't matter. Inside OBS. Well, we're going to drag OBS in. So now you're going to see a little bit of a duplicativeness here. So you can see I've got OBS up, and it is doing a window capture in this regard. So in this window capture, so I have one scene. I'm not sure this is the right way to do it, but it works. So I'm going to go with it. I've seen other videos that suggest adding additional scenes. Yeah, I'm not that smart. So I have one scene and a window capture, but as you can see, I also added a display capture. Display capture is the whole screen behind. The window capture is the actual Cartoon Animator image. But let's do a new one. So as I learned, if you click the Alt key and hold it, you can start to drag and resize things down. Now it's getting a little dicey because I've got the display capture. So let me switch to just Alt Tab here. Okay, and then bring back up OBS Studio. So now it's not as, you've got another screen behind it, and you can see you can make changes and you're not ruining anything, or you're not missing anything. So here we go, and I'm going to maximize this, and I'm going to Alt and hold this down. You can see we're getting the reverb, meaning multiple screens because it's watching itself. So let's go back to this again. So it's a little bit less confusing, I hope. But what I want to do is I'm trying to resize the window capture. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to resize the window capture so I can just have my square here. Now, I've watched a couple other videos about putting it into like a circle or having an overlay. So that's another thing to think about. But now that I've got this guy here, I can drag it into the corner. Now it's pretty large, so let's make it a little bit smaller. I don't want it taken away from what's going on. But this window capture, capturing the application, holding the Alt key, dragging the arrows around, I've now overlaid this onto my screen. And if I want to go back to Cartoon Animator, and let's fire up the preview. So we'll set the 0 pose again. And that 0 pose is just me staring straight ahead as to how I want to look at the screen. Preview, space key. So now you can see, hi, here we go, another video. So if I open my mouth more, it definitely tracks that better, but it's also the character, the mouth of this turtle isn't huge. So depending on how you speak, you might need to enunciate more depending on the character, or you might want a different character that has a different mouth. See how that's moving? That's going. So right now I'm recording the screen, and what I did before was I did it on this guy, right? And let's go back to OBS. And you can see I'm still talking, even though Cartoon Animator is now behind the scenes. It could be on a different display. It doesn't matter. So long as the camera is where it needs to be in terms of the phone that you're using. So I'll make this bigger so you can see. I am talking, and wow, this is working. So you've got all the animation that comes from Cartoon Animator. And now I have my overlay, I guess, if you want to call it that. I did not do an additional scene. I just did a window capture to capture the Cartoon Animator app, and then allowed me on OBS, Alt, and then dragging to make this different. So I could move this guy wherever I want. And then I could say, well, welcome to blah, blah, blah. And that's how this is working. Of course, the eye tracking and the mouth. If you shift your head too much, you start to see some of the weakness, but I'm not a pro at Cartoon Animator. The pros would have this look really great. I think it's good enough. It's fun. So that's how I did it. I did a window capture along with the original display capture. Then in the window capture, resize it, put it where I want, and just have Cartoon Animator run. So it can do whatever it needs to do. And with the Live Face app for the iPhone, fire that up, connect it, and now you can have a little animated character to communicate and talk. I've seen more videos that way. My face is made for radio, so I don't think it's a good idea for me to put my ugly mug up there. But it's kind of fun to do stuff with different characters and have OBS be able to record it. So let's try and add a filter to our image here. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go to filter. Nope, right click. Right click on the window capture, go to filters. And I don't need audio, I need effect filters. We're going to do an image mask. Okay, just give it a default name. And then I just downloaded one of them. So let's go to the downloads. And we'll grab it here. Okay. Yeah, let's try the round. Well, let's do the circle first. Okay. So that's interesting. Trying to think what we want to do here. I think you have to make the image bigger first. So let's go back to Cartoon Animator. And while we're messing here, let's make the eyeball a little less responsive. And go down to 50 on the eyes. Eyelids, same thing. 50 on the eyelids. So let's see. I want the eyes to hold a little bit more. Now the mouth though, let's increase the mouth to 150. Definitely bigger. So it's picking me up a little bit more and you can see it move more. Probably too big for 150. Let's go to 125. Let's try 125 here. You can see my eyes moving because I'm looking at the screen. So this is 125. I think that's about right. So you get to see the mouth move more with this. All right, so at the end of the day, what you have to have is basically the screen bigger back here. So So let's go back here. Let's stop this for a sec so we don't keep talking. Okay. Let's click our image and select it. Let's disconnect our iPhone. Close this up for now. I want to make this bigger. So I got to make this image even bigger for it to work for purposes of, so we're going to go like this. All right, so now we have this guy. It's always kind of challenging to look at it on top of itself. So let's switch over to something else in the background. Okay. So here we are with this guy, and we're going to continue to bring this with the Alt key over to here. And we're going to bring this guy down here to the Alt. Yeah, there you go. You can get rid of it. But you're going to get rid of some of your rounded corners. So maybe you cut it off there. Yeah, it's not bad. All right. Alt holding it in there. And gotta move this up to move this guy here, and then we're gonna make them smaller. Cool. Well, there it is. There's your rounded corners now, and you can have your character talking or whatever you want to do and have some rounded corners for it, kind of not have it so blocky, I guess. So that's interesting. Let's get everything working here. So we're going to start up our iPhone for our live face, and it's got us. We're going to set our zero pose. The zero pose is set. We're going to preview. We'll get that going. Made some of those adjustments, so here we see that. Now we'll go back to the original focus of what this was, which is having this little guy talk while I was talking about Mermaid.js. So I'm gonna move this guy back over here, and now it's purely doing the Mermaid.js stuff. So I would talk and cover this ground, and I could see it now in the rounded corner wherever I wanted to move it in the screen, which is super cool. Thanks.